Good evening, my fellow Australians. I'm making this video tonight because I'm showing my support again for Bankstown Hospital, along with all the other nurses in Bankstown. I'd like to bring attention, nurses. What you're doing is wonderful, chatting amongst yourselves and highlighting how disappointed you are, and that's rightfully so. But you are right, you are underpaid, overworked and understaffed. However, rather than talk about it amongst yourselves, you should be focusing on why isn't the government putting the same scrutiny on the NDIS as what they are doing at the moment with Bankstown Hospital. Because we all know that for a start, well, the NDIS is a scam. We also know that the level of care in the NDIS is basically non-existent, because most people have got their family and friends working for them. So the level of care is very minimum. But what's very interesting is the amount of pay they get. An example of which is, I don't need 8 to 4 on the weekends, Saturday and Sundays. I send my carers home early. But if you work both days 8 to 4, that's 16 hours, a carer will clear 800 in the hand to go out on weekends to socialise, and a lot of times they expect the carer to pay for it, because the carer will get in for nothing, because if the client, that's me, produces a companion card. The companion card is a load of rubbish, because like I said, the carers get in for free. It's the same with the gym. People go to the gym for free, and people like me have to pay for it. You would think it should be the opposite way around. You know, instead of, what I'm trying to say, nurses, is now you won't have any chances of getting a pay rise for now, because you won't be able to go on strike, because that'll just anger the public more. So those two nurses have stopped you from doing that. But what is more important, as I speak, my neighbours, Nurse Sina, is a backstabber, in that she's having a party right now. She has a party every night because the prostitutes are over there. Nurse Sina does not care. She works in a hospital. She doesn't have your back. She knows the conditions. She knows you're overpaid. Not overpaid. Overworked, underpaid, understaffed. And yet she's got friends and relatives, the ones in Australian Care Solutions, the ones I'm talking about that committed fraud. And her family friends are all gangsters. And they're the ones that rip me off. And yet the NDIS, like I said, there has been no scrutiny on them whatsoever. In fact, the most they get is a fine, which they can pay easily, because, as we know, bikies have got plenty of money. Drug dealing money, cocaine, prostitution. It's exactly what's behind me. Now, my suggestion is, nurses, stick up for one another, have each other's back, but pressure the government into saying, how come the NDIS is not under the same scrutiny as us, and how come they're getting so much money to socialise, because they don't do as much of the work that you people do. They certainly don't have the stress. They certainly don't have to administer needles and when I say drugs, medication. At the very best or worst case scenario for a carer is that they have to bath a person or try to get them out of bed. But generally they don't do much at all, unlike the nurses. So now target the Albanese government into saying, well, how about trimming the money off the NDIS, cutting it back, the amount of wasted money they have in it, and get that money back into the hospital, because if you employ more nurses, you're going to have obviously more nurses, means less hours, and less stress for the nurses that are working, because they're going to be doing less hours. It's common sense. So this also is a message to Albanese. Stop picking on Bankstown Hospital and the Muslims in particular, yes, what those two nurses were done is wrong, but also what my neighbours are doing right now is wrong. I mean, they're laughing at their heads off. Only today, one of my neighbours got delivered furniture. And it's like, well, you know, if you're living in Lebanon, for a start, you wouldn't be able to buy the furniture because, well, you wouldn't have any money to have a job. And you probably wouldn't be able to have any furniture shops in the first place. Not being disrespectful at all, but it's a fact that I know that you wouldn't be able to buy, that these people that are getting furniture here, these are my neighbours also, the Christians, who disrespect Australia because, well, they don't like Australians, so that's not liking Australians is no like working is the same as not liking Jews. And yet they'll take the Australian money and they'll take the housing, and they're able to buy their goods because they're on the Australian pension. So on that note, everybody, have a good day, and like I said, maybe focus your energies on saying to the government, well, give the NS the same scrutiny and media attention you give us. And then maybe that will help everyone across the board. Thank you and have a good night.